to meet number 1 of Friday Night Heights on the SEC ESPN network. So far, it's been a season of surprises and parity in the SEC. 3 weeks ago, Shannon Welker's Missouri Tigers finished strong on Florida, upset then 9th-ranked Georgia for their first dual meet win in the SEC.
2 weeks later, things shifted and Georgia at home took down the then #1 Florida Gators. Florida made some uncharacteristic mistakes on the floor and had to count a fall on the beam for the first time this season. They led by 5/10 leading into the final rotation, but that score could not hold up after Georgia on floor finished with 5 incredible routines.
Well, tonight we are at the Hearn Center here in Columbia, Missouri. The 19th-ranked Tigers playing host to the 2nd-ranked Florida Gators. Melissa Lee alongside Courtney Kupets-Carter and Casey Smith, who will join us shortly. The Florida Gators, 3-time national champions, are led by Jenny Rowland, who was in her first season, the 2015 National Assistant Coach of the Year. While at Auburn, she was there for 5 seasons under Jeff Graba and company. On the other side, Shannon Welker, the head man in charge here at Missouri in his 3rd season, and this program has really grown under his guidance.
They have. They've improved leaps and bounds, not just in their difficulty, but in their form and how they perform.
Well, his Missouri Tigers team will head to Vault to start this meet off. Had a season-high score last week at Kentucky, scoring a 49-1. Welker stressed with his team this week that he really wants them to go out and attack that first event. It doesn't feel like his team has been as aggressive as they could be to open up meets this season.
And tonight that event will be Vault. And to attack Vault, they really need to make sure they use their speed onto that table, get the height they need, and they want the stick, but they don't need to think about it. They need to make sure their technique is there during that vault.
Brooke Kelly will lead them off. She's vaulted only one other time this season back in the Lindenwood meet. Was not the best score. Coach Welker told us she's a pretty good vaulter. And tonight they really want to see her absorb the landing in her knees instead of in her hips.
So we were looking for no pike in that body position. We want a straight body line from her shoulders all the way down to those feet.
And here comes the freshman from Birmingham, Alabama.
Much better. She had a little bit of pike to the landing, but it was not piked throughout the vault, which is a bigger deduction overall.
Florida will start over on the uneven bars. Everybody back in the lineup this week after resting some gymnasts a week ago. Alex McMurtry and Bridget Sloan both average a 9.917. Ties them for 2nd nationally in this event. Both have scored perfect 10s as Gators.
This is an event where they can have multiple 10s. We're hoping for some tonight. Baker has a first release coming up here. Incredible height.
She was nailing that in warm-ups as well, Kennedy Baker, the sophomore from Dallas, Texas.
She's a great leadoff for the bars and the beam. She just has a confident mindset when she gets up, and her team knows she can hit, and she gets the landing. That is a great way to start off the bars.
Great start for both of these two teams. As we take a look at the meet rules for college gymnastics. You have 6 gymnasts who compete per event. Only 5 scores count. The lowest score is dropped for each team's event total. And of course, the team with the highest total at the end of the meet will walk away with the victory. Back over to Vault. Angie Kern, junior from Columbia, Missouri, hometown girl. Walk on for the Tigers. Scored a 9.8 last week at Kentucky. Usually gets pretty good height and distance, but at times has struggled to nail her blind landing.
That is exactly what Coach Welker wants, balance between being dynamic and finding that landing. She had the height again, just could not find that landing. She really wanted to get the pop up in the air. Didn't quite, maybe turned a little bit late, so had a little more rotation going forward on her landing.
Well, let's send it over to the 3rd member of our crew, Casey Smith.
Melissa, Jenny Rowland said this week that the confidence of this Florida team is an all-time high right now this season, and that's her message down here on the floor during warm-up. She said, hey, let's go out, do what we do, and most importantly, let's try to have some fun.
Alicia Bourne, someone they want to go out there and have fun. She's a perfectionist, reigning SEC Freshman of the Week, won her first all-around title last week on her 19th birthday.
Some gymnasts wouldn't want to compete on their birthday.
She said it was the best birthday she's ever had.
Doing great so far. Beautiful form.
Wow.
Had a little bit of shuffle of those feet, but what a smooth bar routine throughout. She really has a nice line when she's on the bars. And on that dismount, the double layout. Great height, and you can see she kind of sticks, but then yet she shuffles her feet. Didn't show that full control the judges will be looking for.
By the way, Kennedy Baker on bars off to a good start. A career high 9.875. Zara Lewis now ready to vault. The freshman, hometown girl as well from Columbia, Missouri. Another walk-on who has earned a spot in this vault lineup.
She did the Yurchenko full. Turned a little bit early off the horse, and that was one thing Coach Welker wanted her to look at, making sure she didn't overtry and not getting ahead of herself. You can see she turns right off that ball through her shoulder. She needs a little bit more block in the air, finish that flip before she starts the twist to find that landing.
A lot of freshmen having to learn on the go. They've got 8 of them. We'll talk more about that as the meet goes on. This is Bianca Dankos Giambattisto, the specialist on bars for the Gators. She's a part of Canada's national team. Beautiful bar worker, hits those handstands, and has been working on the landings here in recent weeks.
What I really like about this routine is the extension right there. You can see it. She gets through her shoulders throughout each skill. She finishes one completely before she does the next. It really makes a big difference. And a big dismount, the double layout, great height. And again, just that shuffle with the feet. You saw some sticks earlier in warm-up. They're just having such a good routine. They might be getting ahead of themselves on that dismount. Need to finish that flip all the way before they release that bar.
She did a nice job of hitting those handstands, though, in that routine. Kennedy Harris, ready to vault, sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia. One of those go bigger, go home gymnasts, gets a lot of height on this vault. Scored a career high 9.875 down in Dallas at Metroplex a few weeks ago.
The Yurchenko full, she got excited. She felt the stick coming, but then didn't finish her turn in the air and landed with her shoulders a little too far forward. See, she twists a little early as well. The thought she had it, had a little bit of a step forward. And you would rather see a step backward than a step forward. It means they didn't quite have the rotation they needed to complete that vault.
So far, a couple of career highs on vault for Missouri. Kelly with a 9.775 and Lewis with a 9.825. So we see Bridget Kakwato, the senior, bouncing back finally from all of her illnesses the last 6 months. She had mono over the summer, had a shot immune system, had the flu, colds, you name it, and she's finally getting her strength back.
And it looks like at that first release she had, again, they have so much height on bars in this Florida team from each one athlete to the next. But she's also a good technical gymnast. And you'll really be able to see that in this dismount. Her toes go up, and she's able to find that landing. When they get that release that they need and the angle that is ideal, that is when they find the stick. And Bridgie does a great job of that. Beautifully done.
Nailed that. She has been getting more sharp, more consistent in training, and that is carried over to the competition floor here tonight. This is Morgan Porter now, freshman from Overland, Missouri. One of the most consistent gymnasts for the Tigers. She's got 17 scores of 9.8 or higher this season. Nicely done.
Coach Welker said she was a hair away from finding that stick. She had the hop tonight. But what I love about this vault is she gets so much height in the air. Look how high she gets. She completes the turn before she passes that table. And all she has to do now is just find that landing.
This is Bridget Sloan, the seniors, back in the all-around here tonight. Took a break last week on vault. In her career so far, she has 6 perfect 10s as a Gator, at least 1 on each event. And she's got 1 on bars as well, just beautiful.
She shows great amplitude in each of her elements, starting from that first release into that connection to the high bar. Just pretty much floats throughout her bar routine. She was able to find that stick last week. Didn't quite get it tonight. But just what a beautiful bar swinger. She really is able to show that height in all of her skills. And bam, gets those handstands, the small details.
That small shuffle at the end, but you know what? Before her, Kaquado picked up a 9.95 for the Florida Gators, as we just saw the vault for Brittany Ward, the anchor on that event for Missouri.
That's right, she does the Yurchenko half on front pike. She wasn't able to get it tonight, but this is a beautiful vault when she does it well. Just didn't get the pop off the table that she needed to pull it all the way around.
That's got a 10-0 start value and just not able to find that landing here tonight. And now over to the anchor on bars for the Florida Gators. It is Alex McMurtry, the sophomore SEC Specialist of the Week, picked up a 9.95 on bars last week. Look how high she got there.
She had great height on her release move, was a little bit close to the bar, had to bend her arms to catch it. That is a small deduction from the judges. But she just learned that release move this year. It shows the talent she has. On bars, the full dismount.
Whoa!
That landing was full control. There was no movement. Chest was up.
Wow.
Everything you want to see in a stuck landing, she did it. Here's that dismount. The full in, and bam. She had that from the let go.
That is going to be a huge score for the Gators, who are so far in the driver's seat. Off and running here in Columbia. It's just another top 25 showdown in the Southeastern Conference. You're watching Friday Night Heights on the SEC ESPN Network.
Just gymnastics, right? We do billions of numbers every day. Now, let's have some fun with our competition here, right? There shouldn't be much thinking involved because we've done this so much, right? We should just be autopilot, right? Okay, all right, wait for your name, be great. Let's have some fun today, okay? All right, you guys got it.
Shannon Welker mic'd up and coaching his team up here in Columbia, Missouri. Rotation number 1 in the books between the Tigers and the Gators. It is Florida with a lead as we get set for our second rotation. Some pretty good scores across the board. 2 career highs for Missouri in their first event. They started strong in Florida. 2 career highs there as well. The score there for Alex McMurtry, must have missed a handstand or 2 on that event, picked up a 9.875. Well, hello everybody, I'm Melissa Lee, happy to be joined alongside my partner Courtney Kupets-Carter. And Missouri is one of the youngest teams in the SEC. They've got 12 underclassmen. It's a young group, but Shannon Welker says it's a talented group, and he has really had to rely on them heavily this season.
And one freshman in particular, Brittany Ward, is really making her mark so far this season. She has received SEC Freshman of the Week honors twice already. She sat down her vault tonight, but she brings big difficulty. And on beam, she was one of the 2 Missouri gymnasts to compete a 3-element series and has consistently hit that 9.9 mark.
It's all in the numbers. 8 freshmen on this squad, 4 sophomores, just 1 senior, and it's a reason this coaching staff has taken on more leadership duties this season. As you see, a whopping 63% of their routines this season are from freshmen. Rotation number 2 on the way. Florida heads to vault, where freshman Alicia Bourne is already putting up big scores for the Gators, and the Tigers' Morgan Porter looking for another 9.9 plus on the uneven bars when we come back. Dee Bro and the LSU Tigers ready to rock and roll down in Baton Rouge for our second meet of the night as they get ready to take on the Auburn Tigers. Here, Florida and Missouri warming up for our second rotation. Tigers finished as the most improved team in the nation last season, and that trend continues here in 2016. The third member of our crew, Casey Smith, joins us now and has more on the point man for the Tigers' success.
Well, Alyssa, it's easy to see the impact that Shannon Welker has had on this Missouri program since he became head coach. The Tigers joined the SEC in 2012 and went 3-11 that season, but Coach Welker was hired in the next season and he inherited a top 50 program. But in 2014 and 2015, they improved to 21st in the country on the season, and then this season they've been ranked in the top 20 all year. In Welker's last 2 seasons, they've hit that 195 mark 16 times, only hitting that score 4 times in the 2 seasons prior. And earlier this month, the team scored the highest in Welker's tenure so far. Coach Welker said that he can absolutely see the foundation that his staff is laying, and he's excited for the future of this program.
Florida gearing up for vault here in the second rotation. Bridget Kaquado will lead them off. still looking for the landing here in this event. Averages a 9.745.
And then she did a Yurchenko fold. She's had a little bit of a pike shape throughout her twist so far this season. She is still getting healthier from her sicknesses, but that is something she will really want to look to improve.
And over to bars and Missouri. Shannon Welker told us they left a lot of landings in the Kentucky meet. All those little deductions added up. Porter and Miller very good deep into that lineup. Leading them off is Madeline Huber. A very pretty bar swinger, dynamic in her skills, and has really been working on the landings, as we mentioned, as a double layout dismount. And they want to see her maintain her shape in her landing position.
That dismount, the double layout, is definitely the highlight of this routine, but there's her release right into the lower bar transition. Chooses to do that horizontal transition. There's no deduction when it is horizontal, if that's what you meant. Coming up for this double layout, and she finds that landing. Chest is up. Beautiful dismount.
Very nicely
Great way
done.
to start. And here is her blind change into her Jaeger. She straddles those legs, beautiful, and a little bit of bent arm as she caught.
Get it.
But finds that landing. Huge to show that impression. The last thing the judges will see is that landing.
Back over to vault. Erica Fassbender, sophomore from Houston, Texas.
The Yurchenko fall a little offsides. That also is a slight deduction. They want to see the gymnast walk in the air, do the twist, and land straight behind that vault. And she turned a little bit early, got a little ahead of herself.
Jenny Rowland told us the focus this week for them, landings on vault and on floor. They stuck 4 landings on bars and beam a week ago, still looking for it on the other events. Let's send it over to Casey.
Melissa, Shannon Welker said that the emphasis this week was coming out and attacking that first event. And after vault, he told his team he was happy with what he saw. He high-fived Brooke Kelly and said, great leadoff, but now we have to continue that. In the second rotation at bars, he said, let's go do this. Keep up the energy.
It's Shauna Miller who follows the 9.825 from Huber.
Shauna also does a Jaeger, but it's in the pike position. Was able to catch that bar, extended arms.
This has been her best event. She's missed 1 handstand consistently this year.
They definitely looked a lot better tonight. Leading into that double layout. A little bit of that pogo stick landing. But a solid routine.
Bridget Sloan, ready to vault. She'll take a look at her numbers. Those are her ranks nationally. Now she has the green light to throw her Yurchenko full or go with her 1.5. It is ready to go. She has been training it well. Let's see what she gives us tonight.
And it all depends on that warm-up. However she feels in warm-up will dictate what she chooses to do. Sticks with the Yurchenko layout full, and wow, what a choice. Sticking that landing. Beautiful height and distance is what helped her reach it. See the block off the vault. Beautiful height. Really helps her zone into that landing. So wonder why maybe they don't want to do the 1.5. She does such a great job with this full. Maybe the half-tenth isn't worth it.
So far for Florida, 9.825 for Caquato and Fassbender with a 9.775. As we see Brooke Kelly. Key for her tonight is to slow this bar routine down. She can be dynamic, has a nice release move, but tends to rush, and at the end misses the landing because of it.
Again, she will also do a blind, and she will choose to do the pike Jaeger. And I asked Coach, was this a coincidence, or did you teach some of these Jaegers? Because it's all the same release move.
Right.
That's highly unlikely. And he said, nope, they all came with it. Now their dismounts sometimes are different. She also does the double layout.
Wow.
Finds that landing. It was a great routine. Finishes off with her dismount. Legs are together throughout the air. Come on. Let's see what Coach thinks.
Get it, get it.
That's what we were doing over here at the table. Nice to see them get the landings. It's a 9.825 for Huber and 9.775 for Miller. As we head back over to vault, Alicia Bourne will try to follow up the 9.925 from Bridget Sloan. Wow.
She does the Yurchenko 1.5, a slight hop, but the 1.5 is worth a 10 this year. The Yurchenko full is worth a 9.95, and it is a harder landing to get. You can see she has that block off, a great twist in the air. Just needs more numbers to find that landing.
Looked really good off the block there, getting coached up there by Jenny Rowland. I enjoyed talking to Jenny this week. She's got a nice sense of humor. This is Becca Schugel. Had far and away her best outing on the uneven bars. The last time they were here in Columbia, scored a career-high 9.9. Has been doing a good job hitting those handstands, just working on her shape, according to Coach Welker.
A little short on that first handstand. You see she's in that pike position. You want those hips opened. The beautiful catch on that Jaeger release. And she has a nice long swing on bars, and it really helps give a nice flow to her routine. And connecting these skills.
Wow.
Giant fall into that double back. Slight step backward. It looked like she turned a little bit late over the top of the bar. And her release really finishes the turnover. Has a nice swing into her next element.
And a much better job from the Kentucky meet, which was actually the lowest score of the season for Missouri. It's just an off night for the Tigers, according to Shannon Welker. They're trying to get back on track tonight. This is Kennedy Baker now. Does the 1.5 this year, which she likes a lot better. Doesn't sting the ankles as much.
Wow, again, beautiful height and distance. Her legs stay together. Just that slight hop, and that's just gonna come from making sure they don't rush their twist. This block is gorgeous, but you see her shoulders twisting a little bit early off of that table. It doesn't give her the awareness she needs when coming down on that blind landing.
So the two gymnasts with the 1.5s missing the landings here today for Florida. So we see Megan Porter, the freshman, ranked 22nd nationally on bars, leading the Tigers with an average score of 9.854.
She also, like we've been talking about, has that Jaeger release, but she will do a different dismount. It will be the double front. She will do the straddle Jaeger right into the shoot over, into that horizontal position. And then her dismount. A difficult dismount to find the landing, the double front. Just a slight hop backward. The best way to find that landing is to make sure that tap to their release, that their legs are completely up in the air. Looks like she tucked a little bit late. That stalls the rotation.
This is Alex McMurtry. This is probably one of my favorite vaults in the SEC. You gotta watch the finish where she flares it out. It's a vault that has netted her a perfect 10 in her home debut down at the O-Dome last season. Very nice.
I don't think I've ever seen a more technically correct Yurchenko full. Now, if she finds this landing, she will have the 9.95 that this vault is worth. And they've just been wanting the landing so bad. It looks like they all had a little bit of rushing off that table with their twist. It gives them that slight hop for their landing.
Well, Florida so far with a couple of season highs. Kakwata with a 9.825, Sloan with a 9.925. And on the other side, a couple of career highs for Missouri. 9.825 for Huber and a 9.875 for Brooke Kelly, as we see Tia Albritton.
Now, this is her first time ever competing on the bars. A little bit close on that release. You could see her arms bent all the way, but was able to really get that swing and keep the routine moving without having to take a break. Again, it's her first time competing bars. She stayed on. That's the first goal. Had a few mistakes, but definitely has room to improve.
So some pretty good scores for both of these two teams here in this second rotation as we send it over to Casey Smith, who is standing by with Jenny Rowland.
Well, Coach, you said there was an emphasis on landings on vault this week. How do you assess that?
You know what, vault, I think we still could have done a little better job. The girls have been doing better in the gym and landings. I don't think it really carried over today, but you know what? We're taking baby steps, one meet at a time, one day at a time.
I just heard Bridget tell the team, let's go do floor. This is our best event. What can we expect to see?
I think you're going to see lots of charisma, lots of style, lots of smiles, lots of great tumbling. we're looking forward to getting ready to go to floor.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Heading over to floor, it's been one of their weaker events for the Gators this season. Can they put it all together on the road tonight? But first, we follow ESPN Network in Columbia, Missouri. Good-looking night out there. Great weather, downtown Columbia. Florida with a lead here at the halfway point. The Florida Gators with 2 season highs on vault, as you see the 9.925 by Bridget Sloan, the 9.825 by Bridget Caquato, and a couple of career highs on the other side for Missouri on bars. But it's Morgan Porter and Bridget Caquato in the spotlight for our belt competing with style highlights.
And Morgan on ball. The Yurchenko layout full has done such a nice job with finding the height and distance she needs. Looking for that landing, but Caquato over on the bars. Swings with style for sure. Double layout, finds the landing tonight. Great finish.
Rotation 3 coming up next. Brittany Ward and the Tigers will attack the balance beam. And Kennedy Baker's floor routine, one of the best in the country, and it is on the way when we come back. Gators with a lead as we get set for rotation number 3 here in Columbia, Missouri. Well, the Tigers aren't the only team getting some big-time contributions from freshmen. The future very bright on that end for the Florida Gators as well. Casey Smith.
Well, Melissa, one of those contributors for Florida is freshman Alicia Bourne, who clinched her first all-around title last week versus Arkansas and was named SEC Freshman of the Week, all on her 19th birthday, which she said obviously was her best one yet. And her head coach, Jenny Rowland, told us that Alicia really embraces the challenge and that her mindset of striving for perfection is what makes her so successful. After vault, I heard her say, Alicia, baby steps, be happy with what you do. And Courtney, she's just another example of how deep this Florida lineup really is. Something that makes them incredibly dangerous.
That's right, and I think a huge benefit for her is she's learning from some of the best within her own team. Mentors like Sloan Baker and McMurtry.
Sloan getting down there, as she always does. That's typical Bridget Sloan for you right there as we take a look at Florida. And they are going to head to floor. And Missouri will start this rotation out on the balance beam as we see Tia Albritton, the sophomore from Garland, Texas. Shannon Welker's made some changes to this leadoff spot last couple of meets because he likes having options there, especially late in the season.
And Tia was their leadoff last year. Changed it up last week with Allison Bauer, who will take the number 2 spot this week. A nice solid start. Last week she had a few wobbles on several skills, but really controlling her movements today. A nice kick over front to that leap, a great combination. Just the gainer full dismount.
Very nicely done.
Finds that landing much better than last week. I did not see any of those hesitation wobbles. She had full confidence on the beam. This is a fun but difficult skill. She swings that leg, does the kick over front to 2 feet, right into the split, showing great amplitude.
This is Grace McLaughlin over on floor for Florida. Jenny Rowland told us she feels it has been their weakest event specifically because of the illnesses and injuries they had at the beginning of the season. And she's hoping their scores will improve as everybody gets better and stronger, namely Bridgie, who has always been such a solid anchor on floor for this lineup.
It's a good thing it happened early in the season. They have time to continue. They have, like she said, 4 more meets left before that SECs. Great first pass.
Grace has been very consistent in the leadoff spot for the Gators, has scored a career high 9.825 3 times this season.
It's really what you want in a leadoff. Someone who is consistent, doesn't overperform, but gives you the same solid routine every time to start your floor rotation. Front a 1.5. Had a nice landing. Again, they're looking for those landings. She's done a great job so far. Just that last pass. They might not have found the landings on ball, but they sure are starting off.
Absolutely.
Finding them on floor.
Great start, and that's what the focus was for Jenny and the Gators team in the gym this week.
They want to transfer all those nice tumbling passes into the meet. See her last tumbling pass, the combination, finishes off well.
Tia Albritton, who led Missouri off on beam, picked up a career-high 9.85. And as you see this beam lineup, it's all freshmen and all sophomores.
And that's big for beam. Beam is that event you do have extra nerves. And when it's your first time in this college atmosphere, you're not just competing for yourself anymore like they did in club. This is a team sport in college.
This is Allison Bauer.
And when you compete for a team, you have a little bit more pressure on your shoulders.
Sure. This happens to be her best event. She was in the leadoff spot last week, has been in the 2 and 3 spots at times this season. So far, so good. The scary thing about this Missouri team is all these freshmen and sophomores are going to grow up, and when they're juniors and seniors, watch out.
They're going to look back and think, wow, I had no idea what I was doing then, but I've got it now.
They're so young. Coach Welker says they've actually had to teach them how to actually be and act in a meet.
Coaches, yes, have been taking that leadership role, but the gymnasts are still performing. Allison Bauer, her side summy, a required side or front element for the beam. A really great job. Really found her own last week and is continuing that tonight.
So the two teams going blow for blow here in terms of career highs. Grace McLaughlin with a 9.9, career high for her. And then Albritton, as we mentioned, with a 9.85 on the other side for Missouri. So we see Erica Fassbender, someone who has really grown and matured, according to Jenny Rowland, just over the short period of time she's seen her, and that's been since the summer.
And that's just in her confidence that she's taking over from practice. She trained so well. And now Jenny has been seeing that confidence transfer over into these competitions. Two and a half punch front. Great connection. See that 4-inch mat there? It's allowed on that floor. Just saves those ankles. Double pike, second pass, lifted that foot, didn't have full control. But typically you see that double pike in the first slot of the tumbling passes, not the second. She's really spreading out that difficulty throughout this routine. Finishes off with a 1.5 to punch front pike. Found all 3 landings.
Well, tonight at 10 on the SEC ESPN Network, join our network analysts as they discuss all the SEC news of the day on SEC Now. Also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. So a good start for both of these two teams here in this third rotation. Allison Bauer for Missouri picked up a 9.825 on beam, as we see Shauna Miller getting some last second advice from the coaching staff before she goes up on beam. And she's coming along, has had some wobbles and some body checks throughout the season, but Coach Welker says she's making progress to correct those in the gym and just needs it to show in competition.
It's that one wobble. Coach Welker said she tends to have at least on one skill. We're really trying to get rid of that.
Ooh.
She fell there on that first tumbling series, the back handspring layout. It's important now for her to finish this beam routine. She doesn't want to give any other mistakes away. leap combination. You really want to see the athletes reach that 180-degree split at least once during the beam routine and in all leaps that they complete.
She had the fall, and then she just got really mad and decided to attack the beam and take it out on the beam.
She's definitely keeping her focus. She still has those nerves, but she's handling them much better at the end of this routine. She's definitely disappointed, but only 5 scores count. They can drop this one, and here's that series. You can just see she had that weight all in that back foot, so then her front foot just wasn't on. She was trying to stay on the beam with one foot, technically.
She tried to grip with those toes, and it just was not working. So disappointed, obviously, but obviously a score that Missouri is hoping to drop. Let's send it over to Casey.
Well, Jenny Rowland told us this week that Alicia Bourne, who's on floor right now, is learning to balance striving for perfection, like we talked about earlier, but also not psyching herself out to make those mistakes. And that's exactly what she told Alicia right before this routine. She said, live in the moment. We're here. Go out there and have some fun.
So think of another Gator who that sounds like. Keetra Hunter, maybe? Jenny Rowland agreed that that is what this coaching staff has told her in terms of a gymnast that reminds them of Alicia Bourne.
She definitely has some of those characteristics. One is the power.
Wow.
Great full in. She was able to keep that foot in bounds, but we'll get a deduction for lifting that front foot.
Thought she had it there for a quick second.
Just a little too much energy in that first pass.
And now what they've been trying to teach her, this coaching staff, is when you have a mistake, it's okay, finish strong.
That's right, she's all about that perfection. And when she used to have a small mistake, she'd think about it throughout the rest of the routine.
Right.
And those coaches want her to relax and finish the routine like she knows how to do. Nice connection, a 1.5 to punch front layout. Looks like she's relaxing it a little bit. There's the power. When you have it, you need to make sure you control it when it comes down. So wasn't her best routine, but something I'm sure she'll go back in the gym and work on. This first pass, the full in, just a little too much height. And rotation backward.
She's got a couple of career highs ahead of her in fast spinner with a 9.875, and McLaughlin, of course, who led them off with a 9.9. This is Morgan Porter now, another freshman, as we mentioned, all sophomores, all freshmen in this beam lineup for the Tigers. Now, she was not in the lineup last week, took a week off so she could work on a new series, one that Coach Welker feels a little bit more consistent.
Right, she used to do the back handspring layout step out. And tonight we will see the front aerial to a back handspring. Now the important part of that series is the connection element between those two skills. You're going forward and then backward. She needs to keep that movement going. So far, a very controlled beam routine.
It's good pacing. Taking her time.
There's the front aerial into that back handspring. She kept those arms moving, and that's what you want to see in between the two skills. Great change so far. Just the dismount. 1.5. A very solid routine, and I think that change with her series is going to help her with her confidence.
Should be another good score for the Tigers. Bridget Sloan now ready to go on floor. And Jenny told us a story of how her upgrade on floor from the front double full came about. She struggled with it during the fall, and Jenny asked her, hey, is there another pass you like to do? And she said, yes, a 1.5 to a 2.5. And Jenny said, is there another pass you could do? Because that's not difficult or anything, right?
The difficult factor in the 1.5 into the round off back handspring 2.5 is you're doing a round off out of a 1.5. So you have to split your legs, make sure your angle that you're coming down from that 1.5 is in the exact spot. Because if you're off, that is so difficult to keep the momentum moving to do a round off, let alone a 2.5 out of it. So here it is, round off 1.5, goes right into the round off back handspring, 2.5.
Wow.
She does it like a pro.
Whoa. Now, the coaching staff gave her 2 days to work on it and bring it into the gym to show it off. And what did she do? She did it in club, so she knew how to do it. Came back, showed it off, and they said, okay, you can have it.
And I'm sure she's done it like that every single time.
Jenny says it is one of the most impressive passes in collegiate gymnastics.
Double pike, nice height. She lands with 2 feet together. You'll see some athletes step back into the lunge, which is fine. There's no deduction for that. But when you can land a pass on 2 feet, it shows you did it correct.
Been dynamite so far with her landings on her first 2 passes. She's a senior, and you know we're going to miss her. She has been just a joy to watch during her time as a Gator. Final pass.
1.5 to punch front layout. What a routine. She's having fun being a Jordan, being a Gator. Beautifully done. You can just see how exact she is with the takeoff into the landings of all of these tumbling passes. She is having fun, and she wants to go out on top.
So far, already a couple of career highs on floor. McLaughlin with a 9.9, Fassbender with a 9.875. They're hoping to drop Boren's score as we see Becca Schugel up on B.
And that was that beautiful 3 series, the back handspring, layout, step out. You don't see many series with the 3 elements. She had a little bit of trouble on that element warm-up. You could not tell during this beam routine.
I said Florida would like to drop Boren's score, but it was a 9.9. They're looking to maybe drop Fassbender's score.
Nice control. You can see the smile on her face because she did rush that leap series last week and didn't quite get her legs reaching that 180 degree.
A little bit of pressure on the sophomore shoulders after the fall from Shauna Miller.
Handled that pressure, excellent.
She sure
Great
did.
landing on that dismount.
Wow. Again, these are all freshmen and sophomores stepping up and showing out here in Columbia.
Just that dismount, the gainer foal off the side. See our assistant coach, the beam coach, excited. They put a lot of work and practice on the beam, and it's paying off tonight.
Okay, so Kennedy Baker already has a perfect 10 on floor this season. And talked about upgrading skills for the Gators, and Jenny joked, well, it's kind of hard to upgrade Kennedy's pike double Arabian, her difficult first pass, which she's pretty much perfected. Though at times she lays it out so much, it looks like an Arabian double layout.
It really does. She has so much power. She really does know how to control her body.
Just a step on that landing. She floats in the air.
She also performs so well, and she has so much fun performing. So floor is one of her favorite events.
Jenny calls her Beyonce out there.
Nice double pike. Again, she lands with both of those feet. Shows her take off from the back handspring. We're straight up in the air. Jenny also said she wanted these athletes to take her where they wanted to go. She feels like when athletes take ownership, they will have more of an impact. And they are taking ownership of this floor tonight.
There's not going to be much for Jenny Rowland to be upset about at all for her Florida Gators on floor. That'll be a big score for Baker. Bridget Sloan, by the way, got a 9.975.
Oh, that means she got 110 from a judge. averaged out with the 9.95 from the other judge. High scores.
It was gorgeous and deserving of a
Definitely.
9.975 as we see Brittany Ward, the anchor on beam for Missouri, who's having a pretty good night in this event as well. Has been named SEC Freshman of the Year twice this season. Leads the Tigers with 8 event wins, including 1 for vault and 4 more on beam.
Now on beam, she performs like she is doing knee skills on the floor. She's so calm. She also does that 3 series, the back handspring, layout, step out. Now she's a freshman, but she's already had the pressure of going after 2 falls in a rotation before. Really is great in this anchor position.
So far, 4 career highs for Missouri, but she needs to hit because they want to drop Shauna Miller's score with a 9.275 after the fall. Beautiful.
Nice finish. Just so controlled in how she lands her skills. Just this dismount, the round up. 1.5. Just the 1 step forward.
And look at all the career highs for Missouri on beam. All freshmen, all sophomores. So impressive here tonight.
And here's the 3 series, the back handspring into the back handspring, layout, step out. She just flows along the entire balance beam for that series.
So what is it about Florida where teams in the SEC take on Florida, doesn't matter if it's in the O-Dome or on the road, and they get some of their highest scores of the season? That is so far the case tonight for Missouri, as we see Bridget Kaquato ready to go on floor as their anchor. Scored a 9.95 or better 7 times during her career as a Gator.
Now she does the front double full for her first pass, and she typically will do a punch front out of that as her connection requirement of 2 saltos in 1 pass. But because of the sickness, just a little bit of energy has taken it out for now. And we'll see in the second pass where she makes up that required element.
Just waiting for her to get that endurance back. It'll be another week or 2 before we see the punch front again.
It's definitely a difficult element to get. You have to be straight on from the double full. To get that punch front, she's had trouble with it in past years. But here's where they've added something new. Front 1.5 to back handspring into a layout step out.
Okay.
More of an element you'd see on the balance beam, so kind of switching it up.
Love the splits. Whoa.
Beautiful amplitude, getting them, looks like above 180 degrees. It's not just about the tumbling, it's also about that dance. And just the double pike. Nice controlled landing. A small stub on her finishing position. But wow, what a great job.
So a great finish for Florida, but Missouri, how about this? A season high on beam with a 49.225. Casey Smith is standing by with their head coach, Shannon Welker.
Coach, there have been 9 career highs on your team so far. What stood out to you through the first 3 rotations?
You know, I just think our energy's been good, and we're just, I feel like we're transferring the gymnastics we see every day in the gym a little more comfortably throughout the meet. So yeah, we've been pleased so far.
What do you want to see on this final rotation on floor?
Just having some fun and doing that. I know they can do it, and they've shown that before, but I think the energy's good, and our crowd's good tonight, so we're really excited, and I think they're going to finish strong.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks a lot.
The Tigers scored a 49.475 on floor the last time they competed in the Hearn Center. We will find out if this team can deliver a repeat performance when we come back.
Yeah, Gators!
Meet 1 one of our Friday Night Heights doubleheader almost in the books. One rotation to go. Florida Gators with a lead over Missouri by a score of 147-275 to the Tigers 148-4-5 for Florida and 147-275 for Missouri. And look at all those scores for the Tigers, 4 career highs.
It is amazing. They didn't have their best meet last week, and Coach Welker said he wanted to hit that reset button. They did it on beam.
2 career highs and a season high there for the Florida Gators. See some high scores. The 9.975 stands out for Bridget Sloan.
What an incredible rotation. Really finding those landings, and it helped, but it came down to Bridget Sloan.
Only 3 regular season meets remaining for both teams. Where did the time go, Courtney Kupets-Carter? We'll be talking more about regional qualifying scores over the next couple of weeks in preparation for SECs. But if they started today, here's where the teams would stand.
And it's amazing. This year, that number 4 spot, which is to compete in the later session at SECs, is up for grabs. You see number 10, Georgia, number 11, Arkansas, are less than a half a tenth apart and right on Auburn's heels. Anything can happen, but what a fun time to be an SEC gymnastics fan.
And next Friday night, Clash of the Titans, LSU and Florida will Thunderdome in the O-Dome, and Georgia and Alabama will go head-to-head in Tuscaloosa. Cannot wait for that one. Coming up, Bridget Sloan and the Gators head to beam. She's got 1 perfect 10 there already this season. And Missouri's Kennedy Harris will light up the competition floor to close this meet out next.
All right, good job. Brooke, nice lead off there, okay? Everybody else, right? Hey, good work.
That's the best finish. I mean, that's the strongest our teams look.
You just gotta, it's one step at a time. We'll get that dismount the next time, okay? Good work, okay? You wanna be on the camera? Just hang out by me.
Oh, good start. Good job.
What are you doing? Just rocking a beam routine. Nice work, right? Thanks. Good job. Nice job on beam. I really love the presentation, and we did some aggressive work the whole way through, so that looked really good. All right, let's go have some fun, finish strong, and really work. You're doing a great job.
Shannon Welker and his Tigers having a very, very good night. 9 career highs for the Tigers here at home. Florida with the lead, though, as we head to this 4th and final rotation. Kennedy Baker will lead off the Gators on beam.
Great front aerial. It's a back handspring to start it off. Now, a lot of these beam routines are no nonsense. They do the number of skills they need and the requirements, and then they get off. They're just trying to be smart with these beam routines. Set it on bars. She's a great leadoff because she is consistent and solid. And that is the same thing here for balance beam. Just that large hop on the back of that dismount. It's a more simple dismount, so she really wants to focus in on that landing.
Here's a look at Missouri's floor lineup. We put together that season high 49.475 a few weeks ago, and with the way this meet is going, they may crush that and do even better as you take a look at that lineup. Got the 1 junior, Angie Kern, in there, but the rest all freshmen and sophomores. We see Brooke Kelly ready to lead them off. Her scores up and down, solid and consistent for this youngster from Birmingham, Alabama.
And as we saw with Florida on the floor, when they have a good lead off that can find the landings, it helped to build that momentum. That is what she's looking here. On that double pike, she had good height, took the shoulders back a little bit too far, which made her weight shift backward and lifted that front foot. You really want to show complete control.
I'm loving this MIA song, by the way. I was hoping at some point, I love it so much, maybe somebody out there in the gymnastics world would use it on floor, and Brooke Kelly's got my back.
She does. You never know what floor music. They can pick it. Sometimes their coaches choose it, but it's all in their personality. So maybe she's got your personality, Melissa.
That's scary.
Last week the scoring was a little bit tight. Coach Welker had said it wasn't quite the scores they thought they should get on a few of their routines.
He said we could quote him on that, by the way. Was not happy with the judges' scores a week ago. Thought they were underscored on quite a few routines.
Ooh, but even so, they need to keep it going and not worry about the scores, and that step out of bounds will be an extra 10th deduction. So she had a good routine up until that last tumbling pass.
Well, don't forget, coming up next, it's LSU and Auburn. MJ Rope scored a couple of 9.85 scores this season, looking to do that and more for the Tigers on the road. The 8th-ranked Auburn Tigers, 6th-ranked LSU, another top 10 showdown in the SEC. Kennedy Baker with a 9.875 on floor for the Gators.
Here's Peyton Ernst on the balance beam. Now her mount she did. It's definitely a different way. You want to sometimes be unique and creative on how you get on the beam. Beautiful front aerial there. Now here's the first time back handspring, layout, step out that she is getting to compete that pass. Her doctor gave her clearance to finally put her hand down. She was doing a difficult front aerial to back tuck. And Coach Jenny said she always had this angst in her when she did that connection because it's difficult.
Right.
Didn't know if she'd wobble or fall off, and they're both glad to see her back with her normal skills.
Well, she did that new skill on Monday. When Jenny asked her how confident she was from a scale of 1 to 10, she said, an 11. No big deal for the freshman. Nice finish.
When you have a skill that you've competed pretty much your entire life or just that back 5 to 6 years, no matter how long you've taken off, it's so much better and feels more confident when you can compete it. Great beam routine, great way to finish off. The first time doing a new beam routine for her.
Kennedy Baker ahead of her with a 9.875. That is a season high for her. As we see Allison Bauer has picked up the pace on floor. Scores have been building over the last couple of meets. Coaches really want to see bigger presentation from her tonight, which they feel could help push that score to a 9.8, 9.825 range and beyond.
Double pike, good controlled landing. And nice shape in the air. Sometimes we talk about the landings and forget about the shapes in the air, but you want to make sure those legs are tight together as well. One and a half to front layout. Again, great body position in the air that helps find those landings.
Gotta say the energy has been very good for both teams here tonight. Pretty good environment, pretty good crowd on hand here on this early Friday evening.
Coach Weber said he was looking for a bigger presentation from Allison. She is definitely delivering. Round of handspring, double tuck finish. Great routine, really did find those controlled landings, what they're looking for to help build the momentum on this floor rotation. Great connection pass there, 1.5 to front layout.
Should be a good score after the step out of bounds by Brooke Kelly. Let's send it over to Casey.
Listen, Jenny Rowland told us that the sophomore class for Florida is the voice of this team, and one of those girls right now is about to get on beam, and Erica Fassbender and Kennedy Baker, Grace McLaughlin, and Alex McMurdy. All of those girls, Jenny says, are the voice and the reason they have the emphasis of confidence, and you see that down here. You see them all hugging each other. This entire team is so close-knit, and it's starting with the sophomores.
That sophomore class has been big time for Florida and will continue to be the future for this team. And that's a scary thought.
They have always had some great recruiting classes coming in after their big guns head out.
Fassbender is a really nice beam set. Done a nice job finishing it off well, sticking her landings. Averages a 9.842 this season.
She really has gained so much confidence since her freshman year. Really becoming one of those leaders, not only in her voice and what she helps out with the team, but just in her gymnastics. Great dismount, beautiful routine, just solid in every element that she did. And after that solid routine, finishing here with a combination into the layout full. Getting a hug from Jenny Rowland.
Follows a 9.875 by Peyton Ernst. And this is Angie Curnow on floor for Missouri. And how about this? It's a 9.9 in for Allison Bauer ahead of her. So now 10 career highs for Missouri. And I don't think they're done yet. Their heavy hitters on floor have not gone yet.
I would give it a 1 to 2 more career highs for the night.
I will hold you to that. Kern has been in this floor lineup and contributing since she was a freshman. She's a junior now. Ooh, little short.
She had nice height, but just couldn't finish that rotation and did land kind of crunched on those ankles, and you can see their tape, so I'm sure that did not feel good. She's definitely working on her leg and foot form within her presentation. So in those tumbling passes, really pointing those toes through the tape, which is so difficult to do. Front full to front layout. She got that landing, but legs separated a little bit at the end of that front layout.
What I like so far is you can tell she's not letting it affect the rest of this routine. She's having fun out there.
Can definitely see that in her facial expressions. She's not let anything go. Hasn't made a face for any of the errors she's completed. Hopefully she can get this last pass around. The front 1.5, much better. You can see her chest right up. It wasn't her best, but definitely finished off strong with this front 1.5 twist, landing with that chest straight up.
Back over to beam. Alicia Bourne debuted a new beam dismount last week. She first got on campus. Ginny asked her what her backup plan would be for her round-off double tuck, and she said, I don't have one. And Ginny told her, well, there's going to be times in your career where you're going to need one, and right now she's dealing with a hip flexor, so this one doesn't hurt her as much.
That's right, and she did the round-off double back, which the hip flexor hurts on that round-off part, and the double back is such a difficult dismount to do. It's hard to stick it. So you need that backup. Do a gainer full off the side. But so far, a solid beam routine. There's a gainer layout. Getting her turn element in. And then here we set up for the alternate dismount. The gainer full off the side. And a nice solid routine. This is right before she has her series. You can see her arms kind of hesitated right before she went. It looked like she was about to go and then wait, am I ready? And then decided to keep going. Just a mental check, but was able to finish through it.
Ahead of her Fassbender with a 9.775. Back over to floor, and Shauna Miller open to shake off the fall from beam. Show up and show out on floor. And has not been in this floor lineup all season.
This is her first time, and she will have a little extra adrenaline with it being her first time out on the floor, but this is a great place to have some adrenaline. Double tuck, great landing. And that's what she needs. She needs to build that confidence back up, forget what happened on beam. Doing that so far.
And 3 more meets to go until SECs, and Coach Welker is starting to figure out who he needs in each lineup to lock him down. So far, so good for Miller.
He's been putting new girls in, switching the lineups around, just trying to find that perfect balance within each event. Shauna also had some ankle issues, which was why they wanted to bring her back slowly onto this floor rotation.
Didn't see any issues, though, with those ankles on those landings.
And that's what you want. You want to make sure those landings are upright so it does not hurt her ankles, and she did a great job. It was definitely time for her to have a showing on the floor.
Alex McMurtry. Her back, of course, is something the coaches have had to manage, and she's been determined not to let it affect her. By the way, she's 1 week away from debuting her first floor routine ever. We couldn't quite talk Jenny into putting her out on floor today. They're going to save it for the LSU meet. She is beautiful on beam.
And that injury is something Jenny said most people wouldn't be able to handle the difficulty she does with the low numbers she can do in practice with how difficult her routines are. Just shows what mindset she has, and once she puts her mind to it, she goes full force. She's another one that just competes beam like she's on the floor. She's so relaxed up there. I wonder if she ever gets nervous in her head. I know she gets nervous, but it never looks like it.
No.
Double
Nice finish.
full. Great routine.
And I didn't see any nerves from her freshman year either.
She's stone cold. Great finish. Her round off double full. Just a small little inch forward with that foot. She had her career high this year, the 9.95.
Oh, she needed a 9.025 to clinch the meet for Florida. I think she got that. And the Florida Gators will walk away with the victory, but it's really about scoring for Missouri. With RQS coming up, regional qualifying scores, top 3 away, top 3 home meets. Looking for another big score here at home. So we see Morgan Porter on floor. Really like this floor routine from her. She's one that does a really nice job controlling those landings.
The double pike, nice height, great landing.
Let's send it over to Casey.
Well, the emphasis down here for Morgan is exactly what she just did. Her landings and her presentation. The coaching staff said, focus on the separation of your legs and nail these landings. Go out there and do what you know how to do.
And not only is she a great tumbler, very dynamic, but her leaps are just gorgeous. Really gets that split. 1.5 to front layout. Again, a nice controlled landing.
By the way, Shauna Miller ahead of her with a career high 9.85. First time she had performed on floor. Pretty good score to show for it. 11 career highs now for Missouri.
The double tuck.
Wow.
Great height in the air. Really lands with her chest up.
Now she got up there on that last pass.
Going into her second tumbling pass. Great confidence, the 1.5 to front layout. Great form. Her legs are so straight throughout that twist. And Coach Welker, he wants the fans to cheer. He knows that was a great routine.
And a great meet so far for his Tigers. For Florida, 5 career highs for them, 4 season highs. And Bridget Sloan will wrap up beam for the Gators. He's already scored a 10-0 in this event this year in that Alabama meet.
Sloan is very exact on this event. Everything she does is performed with purpose. Our series backhand swing layout, step out. Whoa, that is a save if I've ever seen one. Completely over to the side on one foot and is able to pull it back.
And when she pulled it back, acted like no big deal. I got this. She needs a 9.775 to win the all-around.
So with a large wobble like that, it's at least 3/10 of a deduction the judges can take. Saved herself maybe 2/10 there with not making the fall. And there it goes. You know, someone like Bridget, who's pretty much perfect every time. Right. They need a break. She needs to get it out of her system. Her teammates have her back. They've had a solid 5 routines up until this point. Double
This is
full.
a score that they can drop.
Right, only 5 scores count.
And Florida has already won the meet, regardless of her score here.
There's the back handspring lay outside, but you see her hips were crooked up right before. And there's a closer look at those feet. Look at her hold on. She did not want to come off.
So again, 5 career highs, 4 season highs for Florida here tonight. Kennedy Harris ready to wrap this one up over on floor. Had an off night at the Kentucky meet, fell out of bounds on her first pass. But besides that one meet, she has been excellent in this event.
She can get upward of a 9.9. And she can get some air in her tumbling. The double pike.
Wow.
She looked so light on her feet when she landed that double pike. That's impressive. Showing the flexibility there, that leap combination. Front layout to front full. She's straight down the center of that corner. The judges will look to make sure you're not off center.
She scored a 9.9 or better 3 times this season. And all that tumbling you're seeing is a big reason why. She's got 1 more pass to go.
She did over-rotate last week and stepped out of bounds. I think this is the routine. She's trying to redeem herself. Double tuck. A slight inch back with both of those feet.
But much better than it was in the Kentucky meet.
But she is a closer. She's a great finish for these Tigers.
And she's got the fans on their feet here at the Hearn Center. Again, so far 11 career highs for Missouri tonight. It's been a banner evening for the home team. And by the way, on the other side for Florida, their 197.75 is the 4th highest score nationally for 2016.
They have definitely had a few high-scoring meets. They have great athletes. More work to do, which is incredible with such a great high score.
We'll be back to wrap this one up. It's the Florida Gators with the victory, but a really, really good score for the Missouri Tigers. Back in just a moment. A great night of gymnastics here in Columbia, Missouri. It's the number 2 Florida Gators with the victory, but the 19th ranked Missouri Tigers, look at that, a 196.65. That is a season high for the team. Let's listen in to Shannon Welker, who was wired up tonight.
Yeah, you just got to make sure that you hurdle and you stay tall so you can get a good push off that, okay? Finish, right? Yeah, not bad. Just a little short right there, okay? Yeah, okay, good job on the rest of it. Enjoy it 1 pass at a time, right? Okay. Powerful, aggressive, fabulous, fabulous. No, I got it. I was waiting for you to say it. Good job, Tigers. Hey, I thought we competed very well tonight, okay? Got a little room for growth, obviously, but we did a nice job as a team, and it was a team effort. We did a great job, okay? Good job. I think that'll put us up into the mid-196s somewhere in there.
12 career highs for his Tigers here tonight. And the Florida Gators on the other side had 5 career highs, 4 season highs. They're at 197.75, the 4th highest score nationally in 2016. And Casey Smith is standing by with the winning head coach, Jenny Rowland.
Well, Coach, you told us that this week was focusing on the details. How do you feel like your team did tonight?
You know what? I think we did some things a lot better. I still think we need some improvement in other areas, but overall, I think it was a plus on the road. Working on details and starting at home with those little details is a little easier than starting away, but I think overall, coming to Missouri, big SEC rival, you know, it was a good competition for our team.
And what do you want to see them improve on for the next meet?
You know what? It's always landings. It's always the little things. I think our freshmen still need to work on being a little more relaxed, a little more calm, learning how to compete on the road. It's a little different than competing in your environment at your own home, but I think they're doing a great job, and we're just taking it meet by meet and step by step.
You said that this week there was an emphasis on individual performances and what they each can bring to this team. Who stood out to you tonight?
You know what? I think Peyton Ernst is one of the ones that stood out tonight. She did a brand new beam routine tonight, was able to put her hands down on the beam, did a back handspring layout, and just performed a solid beam routine. Really proud of her. I think overall, Bridget Sloan did a great job tonight. Her floor routine was amazing. Vault was amazing. Bars, she did a great job. Beam, she fell a little short, but you know what? You're going to have those days, and you just got to shake them off and move forward.
And when you look at this team as a whole, what do you want to see them do next week as you look forward to postseason?
You know what? Just staying together, staying close together as a team. They've been learning and doing a much better job meet after meet, and I think they did a fabulous job tonight bringing the energy for our own team. And I just want to see them continue to do that, support each other, and let's see how the rest of the season goes.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, an excellent score for the Florida Gators on the road, an excellent score for Missouri here at home. And what did we say in the beginning of this meet? Parroting the SEC, alive and well, people.
It's so great. I love how Coach Welker coming in here, they had a down night last week. Their routines weren't with it. They had a few mistakes, but tonight they hit that reset button in practice, came in 12 career highs. I don't think they want to hit a reset button again, but if they had to, who knows what would happen.
We want whatever they had for dinner tonight because it was awesome. Again, the 12 career highs. On the other side for Florida, Kennedy Baker took home the all-around title here tonight with a score of 39.575. Very good night for her.
Showing some great difficulty, vault her 1.5. Still working on that landing, but here on bars, just great swinging through one element to the next. Finding that landing, which we've been talking about all night is so important. And here's the vault, the 1.5, great difficult, worth that 10.0. Just needs to keep working on it in practice to find that landing. And floor, wow, her floor routine is power, height, dynamic, all of those things in one. And being just so solid tonight, very controlled.
And she is standing by with our Casey Smith.
I'm here with the all-around winner tonight. How does it feel to win this all-around in a meet like this?
It feels amazing. You know, we just went out and wanted to do our best, and I had a really good meet as well as my team. We did awesome, so.
When you look at this team and the momentum that it's carrying, what do you guys need to do to take the next step?
Yeah, we've progressed so much each meet, and I think if we keep doing this climb, it's going to be a great season.
Well, Coach Rowland said you guys always have fun. You guys looked like you were having fun tonight. What is the dynamic of this team like?
Super laid back, and we always want to have a good time, and if you make it fun, it's easier to compete, so.
And when you look at this team and knowing postseason is coming up, what do you guys want to accomplish this season?
Just to do our best, to just go out there and do, what we've been training. And normally if we do what we've been training, we can win, so.
And what's your favorite event?
Definitely floor.
And why is that?
It's just the most fun. The crowd normally gets involved, and I love to see my team by my side.
Well, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So now the big question is, where do these two teams go from here?
Well, it's amazing. Florida had such a great night, but they actually still have small improvements they can make, which will just, they are probably going to hit that 198 score at some point this season. And Missouri, they really have worked so hard to get those details, all the fine tuning of their form and their landings. And like he said, they still have room to improve as well, and we're hoping to see that continue.
Well, Florida has the 198 once this season, looking to do it again as we get closer to the postseason. Again, we've got 3 more meets for both of these two teams before SECs, and who knows who's going to be in that 4th spot in the top 4 in that evening session. It's anybody's for the taking right now.
It's exciting to see.
So a great night for both of these two teams. Again, 12 career highs for Missouri and a 4th highest score in the nation for the Florida Gators, a 197.75, and it doesn't get any easier for either of these two teams, does it?
But it doesn't get easier. They're going to continue to have to work on just building their scores, hoping to get more career highs, but it's all about momentum. When that one athlete can get up, that first person up can really start off with a great routine. It builds throughout the rest of their lineup, and that's what we saw on both sides tonight. It's just that building of momentum.
So the Clash of the Titans, that is going to be next week. Got a couple of great matchups. 7 Eastern, it's LSU traveling to Gainesville to take on these Florida Gators. Then it's Georgia and Alabama from Coleman Coliseum in Tuscaloosa. But here tonight, Florida with a 197.75 over the Missouri Tigers, 196.65. For Courtney Kupets-Carter and Casey Smith, I'm Melissa Lee. So long from Columbia.
The Pete Maravich